What is up, YouTube? It's Grinch, and in front of me here, I have the brand new for 2022 LEGO Avatar Brickheadz Dual Pack featuring Jake Sully and Jake in his avatar form. Let's get into a quick review. So there's a couple of first here from my understanding when it comes to Brickheadz. First of all, we have the first Brickhead that's actually in a wheelchair. We've never seen that before. You can see here regular Jake is in his wheelchair. That's pretty cool. But also we have the first ever, from what I understand, the first ever Brickheadz dual pack where there's the same character being depicted in two different forms. I don't think we've ever seen this in Brickheadz form, so it is kind of cool, but it's also kind of a little bit of a letdown. When I opened this, I was like, oh cool, it's Jake, and then I was like, oh cool, it's also Jake. So I wish we kind of got a different character here, or at least another Brickheadz pack to have some additional diversity, but overall I'm okay with it. It's not too bad, but just something to note. I thought that was kind of interesting that we've never actually seen these Brickheadz have a dual pack where it's actually depicting the same exact character, and this is the first time we've seen that. Let's start by taking a closer look at regular Jake Sully. So here we have the regular Jake, and you can see he's equipped with his yellow wheelchair down here, and that looks really, really good. It looks quite good in Brickhead form, and you can see he actually he's a separate piece, right, that he just sticks in. His legs are sticking straight out versus down like they typically do, and then he just sits on these two studs in the back of his wheelchair, and that's about it. His arms are actually a little bit wider and on a hinge too, so that looks nice, and he doesn't have anything special on him. There's no printing on his chest or anything like that. There's no printing at all on this Brickheadz outside of the typical eyes that we see, and you know, everybody has a million of. Otherwise, nice little Brickhead here. He does actually roll around too in his wheelchair, which is a really nice touch if you ask me. I really like that. But the one complaint I have, and I actually didn't even realize this until I opened the set, was he does not have a plate that he sits on. Now typically, just like the Avatar version of him, you can see here, Avatar Jake has this plate right there that he sits on, and Jake Sully in regular human form has no plate. This is exactly how he sits, is just on this wheelchair, and it's not a big issue. It's just I have a little display stand for my Brickheadz, and if I don't get him just right, he might kind of slowly slide away or off kilter. He does stay pretty good. You know, I'm not saying you have to watch him, he's gonna roll away or anything like that, but it just looks a little bit incomplete, and if your surface isn't perfectly straight, he can roll away. It does add a little bit of playability, I guess, but I just wish that he had that stand. I mean, these are displayable figures, right? All you needed to do was take that just 6x6 plate that they typically come with and just put a little 2x2 plate in the middle, and he could have actually connected perfectly right here on this yellow 2x2 area, and just to have him sit on it, it just would have been a little bit more complete for me. This is a huge nitpick though. I mean, it really doesn't take away much from this Brickhead at all, if anything, by not including that stand. It's just something I noticed. Something that I found interesting was he actually does not have a plate, and I just thought that was neat. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Jake in his avatar form. All right, so this is Jake Sully in his avatar form, and you can actually see there's quite a bit more here to look at. We'll start right here with the nice printing detail on the side of the arm, and that continues around the front. That's a 2x2 tile there, and then there's another 2x4 tile here with some prints to kind of give the front of his torso that nice details, and then that same print that was used on the other arm is used here. Again, it's just positioned differently, and I like the inclusion of the prints, and I love that these Brickheadz come with these printed pieces on them. You can see here he has just a suggestion for kind of that cloth covering going around his waist, which we also saw in the minifigure version of him. And then when you come around to the back, you can see he's got this kind of cute little build here for a little tail, and then his Navi, I believe that's called the Kuru, where he can actually connect to the different animals, the flora and the fauna of Pandora through Awa. Looking around to the side here up top, he's got his nice little blue ears, and then he's got a kind of warrior's crown. I'm not quite sure if that's got a specific name in universe. If you do know, let me know in the comment section below. Please educate me on it. But otherwise, it's just a nice little detailing for a crown using those claw pieces. He does have some nice eyes. I really like the decision here to use this different color of eye. You can see it's got that similar, you know, smaller square, larger square pattern on it, but then they put a black pupil behind that, and then they printed all of that on a yellow tile, which I really liked. I think it just kind of makes this Brickheadz stand out quite a bit more, and a little bit more unique, and a little bit more, you know, fierce looking, which I think is cool. You can see here for an accessory, they gave him a spear, a Navi spear, which uses just some tan bar pieces, and then the tan monkey kid handle piece, which is a nice inclusion. It's always great to get more of those. And then there's also this nice suggestion of some Pandoran flora on the top with the lavender plant piece, and then the key orange or key yellowish color there on the top. So that's great to get those in some kind of non-green colors. It's always nice to see those pieces in different colors as well. Across the top, he's got just a nice little bit of hair here. You can see some blue sticking out from here, which isn't the best. It actually kind of works fine though, because he should have some kind of darker suggestions of blue around him. You can see that same blue is here, and it kind of all just works well in my opinion, but it is just a little bit distracting on the top there. Last thing I wanted to point out is that he does actually use that typical Brickheadz stance here, right, where they just put him on two 1x2 bricks, but in this case, because he is taller, the Navi were significantly taller than humans, he actually has 2 bricks that he's standing on to just give him a little bit of additional height, which I think is definitely a nice touch. All right, so wrapping everything up here, you know, I love these. I love Brickheadz. I never really have any complaints about them. I know they came out with so many when they first started, and they kind of got a little bit dry, but I'm really glad we're starting to see them come back, and we're starting to see them in these one-off licensed themes especially. I think they're really collectible and really cool. I love the fact that we're getting a Brickheadz in an actual wheelchair. I think that's really cool. I think really my only complaints with this set here is that I just want more characters. We're getting 2 different versions of the same character here, and I would love to see another character from Avatar. I think that would be great. So hopefully we see more down the road. I also do just, you know, again, a nitpick, but I just wish that this version of Jake over here in the wheelchair had a stand. Just a small nitpick. It just looks a little bit incomplete as he's sitting here. I know he doesn't really need one, right? Because he's not gonna fall over. He's really not gonna roll away unless, you know, you put him on a little slope. So not too big of an issue. He's heavy enough, but again, I just would have just kind of completed the look for me, and considering that these are display items, are gonna be just looked at on the shelf, there's really no reason to not include it, in my opinion. Overall though, I'd say the building experience here is a 4 out of 5. You kind of know what you're getting into at this point. It's really just a shell with some tiles put around it, so nothing too special with the building experience, but always fun. Just a nice little $20 build that you can do with these Brickheadz. Playability wise, I mean, I gotta give it a 2 out of 5. These really aren't meant to be played with. Of course, Lego is inherently meant to be played with, right? So that's why this is getting a 2, is because you can always take the bricks apart and do whatever you want with them. And this is a good way to get some cool bricks, as well as some cool prints here too that come in this set. Displayability, gotta give it a 5 out of 5. I love, you know, I mostly only display Lego, and obviously these are great display pieces. There's nothing wrong there. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. I think they look really cool on display, and it's fun to see just all the different characters that you have in your Brickheadz collection on the shelf together. And then of course, last but not least, we have the value for the money. Can't complain here. $20 set, you get 2 of these Brickheadz. This has been the price for Brickheadz for a long time. It's really nice to get some quality prints here too. I think that just really completes it for me, is being able to get these prints and not having to have these as stickers. It just kind of makes it a great deal, in my opinion. So overall, this Brickheadz pack comes in at a solid 4 out of 5. Really great pack. If you like Brickheadz, you'll love this. If you like Avatar, you'll also like this. Not much complaints on my side. Accuracy wise, they're pretty true to the source material. Again, my only complaints is maybe a little bit more diversity in the character selection. We got 2 Jakes here, and then simply just a plate for the Jake in the wheelchair to sit on. So overall, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and then joining in the conversation in the comment section below. Also, I started a Plain Old Grinch Discord, so if you want to continue the conversation over there, follow the link in the description. Let me know what your favorite Brickheadz pack are. Is it a nitpick for me to kind of complain about not having a plate here for this one to stick on? Let me know. Roast me in the comments about it. I don't care. I'd love to have a conversation about it. Otherwise, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.